Hello my friends, welcome to an update video that I've been meaning to make for the longest time now. I kept promising my Patreons that I would make a video update just to explain where I've been for the last couple of months, and finally getting time to do that now. Honestly, it's not like the most exciting story or anything I have to tell. Like, I have been on some crazy adventure and camping out in the woods for like the last couple of months. Unfortunately, it's just the usual boring day-to-day life stuff. Work has just been getting in the way. I'd say that's probably the primary reason that I've just not had time to sit down and make videos. I've just been really busy. My role in work slightly changed, and again, I'm not going to go into loads of detail on that because it's just boring. But it means that I have less free time in the evenings, and not as much time to work on videos that I would like to. And you can see my setting here has changed. I'm kind of crammed into a smaller room in my house now. I moved from where it was a slightly bigger room to like a little small box room in my house, to allow my son to have a bigger room, and that was a bit of a move and took a couple of weeks out of my time. And on top of that, I had a weird login bug on my computer where I would log in and then like my whole desktop would be blank and all my programs wouldn't be where they were and stuff wasn't linked right. I don't know if it was like some sort of I think it was just like a startup issue or something, and it was like it sounded as if the hard drive was becoming corrupt or something. So I had to do a full system refresh, like completely reinstall Windows, which I thought would be like a pretty simple job, just like hit the reset button and maybe install a few programs. But I had to reinstall my graphics cards and all sorts of other stuff, so that sent me back for a couple of weeks. I've also been sick for like a couple of weeks and just general things that have got in the way, but for the time being, and I hoped to, it's dragged on, but I've paused my Patreon account at the minute. So I'm no longer, I've just got it on pause, so I'm hoping that my Patreons won't be charged, because it's just not fair to be charging while I'm not really making as much content as I would like to be making. But hopefully at some point I'll be at a point where I can unpause that, if everyone's happy with that, and I won't do that until I'm like making videos, at least one video a week, and I don't see that happening for a while just because of how work is at the minute. But I'm hoping my circumstances change, and I thought that I'll make this little video here and just show you guys where I'm at, what I'm doing, because there are some other reasons why I haven't been making as regular videos. There are loads of like videos I want to make regular, but at the start of this year, I did another update video, not too dissimilar to this one, where I was describing how I want to make some Battlefield videos soon, and I feel like I'm now at a point I've spent a long time like going through, like, let me give you an example of, I don't know if I did this at the time, back when I was making my first video, but this will give you a bit of an insight into how big a project this is for me. Like, I don't want to build this up because I don't want people to think like, wow, this is like he's been off for 3 months, like what's he been doing, like this must be like some like drum roll please, let's see what this great video is. But this has taken me years to pull this together. Normally whenever I make some of my older videos, like an example would be Alien Isolation, like to make that video I would have just played the game and just hit record and just like let the records just run, and I just play and like almost forget that I was recording and just see what happens. And then that way I've got a nice like, you can sort of force footage and you can like try and capture footage, and I've done that for some games, but I like just getting footage that the true footage of me actually playing the game, and it really shows what my actual experience was, as opposed to playing a full game and then going back and recording footage of bits that I liked. And Battlefield's a bit like that, but the difference was, so for really in isolation, I'll have like maybe 30 hours of footage, which is quite a lot of footage to have to then go through and edit down, and you end up with lots and lots of files, and it can be a bit of a slow process. With Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, which is the game that I'm hoping to start a whole series of videos on, I have recorded some footage for like Xbox and stuff like that, but for PlayStation 2 I tried to record every little thing that I did on there, and as a result I have probably, I would say, over 100 hours worth of footage recorded, and that includes public matches and clan matches. Like, I tried to record as many clan matches as I could because they were the most exciting, and what I was left with was, like I say, hundreds of files, hundreds of hours of footage, and like this is going back to like 2012 where most of this stuff was recorded. So I have all this footage on a hard drive just sitting there doing nothing, because I knew it would be such a big task to go into those files and categorize them and actually extract, because you could have maybe like a typical clan match is about 25 minutes, and within those 25 minutes maybe, well actually clan matches were pretty exciting actually, so usually quite a lot of stuff happens in them, but there's lots of public games where maybe for a few minutes nothing much will really happen, then I'll get a kill, then nothing much will happen, then I'll get a kill, or either way I'll have to dive through all this footage and find this stuff. So I spent a good couple of weeks just categorizing that, and I'll show you. I'm using OBS right now, so let's see if this works. Okay. Yeah, so I think you guys can see this. So this is where I've categorized my stuff. So I've got PlayStation 2, and then I've got my different clan match. So here's my clan match folder. In here I've got all my clan matches. Then I had to, so this would have just been like a one massive folder with everything recorded in there. I've had to go through and break this down into the level, the game type. Now typically, I think always the game type was CTF. I don't know that we played any Conquest, not that I remember. But then the date as well, and it took like a really long time to categorize all this stuff. And as I said, there's like probably like 100 hours worth of stuff on here. Let's see what else. So that's just the clan matches. There's like I think 100 files in there. Then I've got like, let's see, FRGO is, this folder is like, it's kind of a long story, but I had a username called FRGO, and I'm actually going to go into a little bit of detail on that in another video, but this is just all the footage I recorded under that game type, or under that gamer tag I mean. And then here's all my public matches, and there's like quite a few public matches, and some of them last like a pretty long time as well. Like there's one that was like half an hour's worth of footage, and then the rest of them are usually like 11 or 10 minutes long. Then I also had original Xbox footage for this game, because this Modern Combat came out on the original Xbox, PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, so I've also got some Xbox 360 stuff, and a lot of this stuff was just recorded if I was like doing a review of the game or something like that. So I've just got a bunch of footage in here, and it's all different file formats and all different stuff. So I would have recorded some 360 stuff whenever I was making like reviews on it. I've got a couple, I think I've got like a review on my channel, and I've mentioned in a couple of other videos, like I think it was in my top 10 first person shooter game video. So like, but I've got like three, because I record so much footage, I've got 3 different hard drives, and I've been like, instead of like just deleting stuff, I like to keep stuff, so I end up like just buying more hard drives, and then had to go through all my old hard drives, and then I even had stuff on discs that I just didn't have room for at the time. And at one point actually I had a hard drive stolen from me. Like I was on a train and I left my hard drive in the compartment above me, and someone stole it. So I think I lost some Battlefield footage, but then I don't know. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is, like, for a good few weeks I was like pulling together, well, probably longer actually, like any spare time I had, and sometimes at nights because I come home from work and I only have like a spare hour or two, so I've just been spending all that time just categorizing this stuff and going through it, and it's just been a really long process. It doesn't mean, what I'm saying is, like, I'm not trying to build this up, because it doesn't mean that the end videos that I produce will be any better. It's just I'm trying to paint the picture that it's just taken me a long time to get this stuff together, and eventually I will, like, I hope to do a whole series of videos on the clan matches and stuff like that. So as well as that, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I spend probably, like, it might not like look like it, but I spend a silly amount of time pulling together my video thumbnails, and it's not like to try and get more views. I don't really care about it that much. The way I see it is just as, like, the thumbnail to me is like, it sets the scene and kind of paints the picture of the video that I'm trying to make, and sometimes a thumbnail can give people a good heads up on what the actual video is going to be about, and I think thumbnails are kind of underrated for that. Sometimes actually thumbnails can put people off watching videos as well, and it can form opinions that the video doesn't even portray, and so I think you have to really get the thumbnail right in a video. Times, like, maybe I look into it too much, and maybe I just enjoy spending a little bit of time pulling these things together. But my last video that I uploaded, like my most recent video, was it was like a Resident Evil. It was about survival horror, and no, it was about like a fixed camera angle, and at the end of I think my thumbnail, and even on the title, I put like 3 exclamation marks, and it's such a minor detail, and it just goes to show that the title of your video can just make people form an opinion on what, instead of like watching the video, they'll just like read the title, and then they'll just start commenting. And in my video, it was like Resident Evil 2 fixed why is it a fixed camera angle, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And people just come in and just hate it on my video. It just gets my most downvoted video. It's because the title and the thumbnail just like made people, I think, okay, so I was kind of trying to do it as clickbait, like trying to make it seem like I was really mad, and of course in some ways I was, but like if you actually watch the video and watch it to the end, I said that it's actually a good thing. But people didn't watch that, and certainly wouldn't have watched the video till the end, so they just assumed that this was like my view, that just this was terrible, that Resident Evil 2 remake's coming out and I hate it and stuff like that. But like, if you actually watch the video, I say that I don't think it's a bad thing, and you know, I was surprised by Capcom and so on. So yeah, I think it's important to spend a lot of time working on thumbnails, and I did my GoldenEye playthrough. I spent a lot of time. I think I pulled quite a nice little thumbnail together. It was like I more or less like recreated the GoldenEye like folder that you see whenever you're selecting a level and stuff like that. And I don't know, I think it looks pretty good, and it's a nice thing to do. So just that's another, and again, because I only have like some evenings, I'll just have like maybe a spare hour, because I'll be so tired. I'll like come home from work and just literally just want to sit there and just do nothing. Like my head's just spinning some days, and like I'm just not in the right mindset for being creative, I suppose. So I'll like, what's like maybe a 5-hour job maybe takes me a couple of weeks. But maybe some people out there will say, well, just don't spend that time doing thumbnails. Who cares about thumbnails? But to me, it's all part of the package. So let's go through. I've got like, this is a little test for me because I'm just starting to use OBS. But this is like I'll call it a mood board for what I've based my thumbnails on, and I've show you guys like what I've got so far. So on the top of the screen there, that's the Battlefield logo. You see it on all the front covers of the games and stuff like that. I really liked the texture behind that, and I spent a long time deleting the white and then like recreating that texture. Like I tried to Google for a similar texture, I couldn't find anything. Like it's like, you know what it reminds me of, like if in school or anything like that you've ever like worked with ink, like a roller. It reminds me of like someone that's like, you know, inked up a roller and then just like rolled like a line of ink, but it's like not quite caught because you can almost see the roll marks and stuff in it. So I thought it was a really cool texture. So but like the reason I kind of isolated that texture was so that I had a base, and then I can just write whatever I want on top of that. So I could just because I'm doing a lore videos for Battlefield, so I'll just do like Battlefield lore, and it'll be like Battlefield maps or whatever, and I'll just have that as text over the top of that. Another really nice, there's not a lot of surviving artwork for Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, so it's pretty slim pickings out there. So I couldn't find a lot of stuff, but this I found. But again, it's not that I didn't like the soldier. I thought it looked pretty cool, but I think that I think that model is from, it's either going to be from the 360 or I think it may even be from Battlefield 2 on the PC. But I wanted like a nice blank canvas to work from, and so I wanted to delete him. So I did delete him. I'll show you what that looks like. I used Photoshop then just to completely take him out of the picture. And I really liked this background. To me, like, I think when it comes to your thumbnail background, I always like to get something that like instantly is recognizable as that game. So for me, the GoldenEye example I was saying earlier, the file form, the folders in GoldenEye is something that I automatically associate with GoldenEye. So that's why I want my thumbnail to be. So if other players out there, other Battlefield players or other GoldenEye players see the thumbnail, they'll just have like some sort of nostalgia hit when they see that, and they'll want to click on it. And for me, let me just bring up this thing. So this is like an old website that EA used to host for Battlefield stats, and as you can see, the background for that website is this kind of canvas material thing. And that's what I was going for whenever I seen this. What do you call it? I guess it's like a screensaver, like a desktop background or something that they created. And as soon as I seen that, I thought I have to have this for my thumbnail. And so it meant that I can use this. So this soldier here, I can use him and like move him wherever I want. Now that I've got a nice blank canvas to work from, and then like I can put my text and stuff on there. So that is the mood board that I was using for my thumbnails, but I end up a few different versions of this too until I was happy with it, because let me just turn this off a minute. So the other thing that I had to be mindful of whenever I was doing my I know I've just started talking about thumbnails, maybe no one's actually interested in it, but I just thought I would trying to explain what I've been doing for the last like couple of months. I'm going to do like hopefully a series of clan matches, but the problem you have whenever you have a big like series of more or less the same type of video is that the thumbnail can become so similar that if someone's like watched maybe 3 or 4 of the videos in the series, and then they get lost, they get like lose track of what they have seen and what they haven't seen. So that was the thing that I was going like, well, how can I sort of differentiate what people have seen and what they haven't? And the way to do that was going to be so I would have this little guy here. I've like got loads of these little cutouts that that took me forever to get all these little cutouts, but like I'll have like ones of the tanks, like ones of all the different types of soldiers. I'll have like a sniper, things like that. So the idea would be that, let me just go to my first incarnation of my thumbnail. So there's one there with like we call them fast movers, but like the trucks. So my idea was that would have a title, as you can see above the truck, and then so where the truck is, I would have a different little icon, like it would be, and then that way people would maybe go like, oh yeah, I've already seen the one with the truck, maybe I haven't seen the one with the tank, and they don't really relate to what's in the video, but it's just a bit of a, whenever a new thumbnail gets uploaded, if it's just got another number on it, they might just think, well, have I seen this one? I can't remember. And there's other things I'm going to do in the series that at the start of the videos that I think hopefully people will, little different intros and stuff that'll keep it interesting, so it's just not like, oh right, another video. Because one of the problems I have with Battlefield clan matches is people only used to play like a handful of maps, so like my problem is I'm trying to get people interested in this game that haven't seen the game before, and like, are people really going to watch the same map over and over again? So but like honestly, like every map or every match was always different. Like it was always pretty, like the game type was the same and all the rest of it, but there was always like different things happening. What made it different was sometimes the people you were playing against were different and stuff like that. So but I didn't like this thumbnail, and this is just me being picky again, but it felt like it was two separate things, and then whenever it would be uploaded to YouTube, it kind of felt like it was broken apart, so I didn't like that. So a couple other things I tried. First of all, I thought it might read better flipped over the other way, but it still had the same problem. What's changed there? Something has changed there, but I don't... Oh, the canvas background. So in the second one, if I hide that again, the second one you can see the Battlefield logo coming through, so I like that, so I wanted to keep that, so I flipped that over in the third image, but then still again it's got that problem where it's kind of broken up. Then I tried this, but the spacing of it, so there's four things going on here really. There's the Battlefield logo, instantly recognizable if you played Battlefield. There's the idea was to keep the title. The game that wasn't there wasn't the title. It was going to be like, that was the title for the lore videos, but I wanted to have like the series, because I'll probably do this in like a few different series depending on time, but then which episode. The little icon which would remind someone if they've watched this one or not, and then the screenshot of the game which would be unique, and then they would say like, oh yeah, I remember that screenshot. So kind of four different things going on. In the end, I settled for this, so I pulled the icon up a little bit, got my canvas logo in the background there, the iconic logo for Battlefield, and then my clan match series and episode, and then the a little screenshot of inside the in-game screenshot, I guess, for each of the matches. So that I don't know, like turn my webcam off. Again, I'm trying to learn OBS as well as this is all going on. This is all really new to me, like working with a webcam, working with OBS. Plus, when my PC kind of died, I've been reinstalling everything, so I had to reinstall OBS and like relink everything, and I've been having just a bit of a hard time with getting all this stuff together, but on top of that, then work's just been a real pain at the minute, so I apologize to my Patreons the most. I feel like I let you guys down because for months, like a good few months, you guys have been paying me, and I didn't realize it would last as long as it did. It's one of those things where you don't know how long, if you're going through a bit of a crappy time, you don't know how long that's going on for. Because the first few weeks I just thought, oh, this is kind of crap, I've missed a few weeks, and the weeks led into months. I mean, the first update video I made about Battlefield and about making this was like back in January, and I was convinced, like I ordered the webcam, set it up, and just thought like, I'm just gonna go with this. This is gonna take me a few weeks just to get the hang of, and I'll go with it. And I probably could have rushed it, and it's one of those things like maybe I'm taking more time than I should, and like especially setting up thumbnails and stuff like that. But I'd rather do it like this has been years in the making. I've been wanting to talk about Battlefield for so long that I want to do it right. I don't want to do a half-assed job and then look back at it and think, I wish I'd spent more time, cleaning that up, because there's so much information that it's easy to miss things, and I don't want to make, I know I will miss things, but I want to do the best job I can so that I won't regret down the line not spending more time on it and stuff like that. And hopefully I haven't missed a window or pissed too many people off, but that's pretty much where I'm at the minute. Like I said, I'm going to do episodic clan match things, so that the idea behind that is say Resident Evil 2 remake comes out, I'll do a little bit of a break from Battlefield, get into some Resident Evil and some survival horror, maybe some top 10 zombie games or something like that, and then I'll come back to Battlefield again and continue the series, but it's hopefully something that I'll spend a lot of time on, but obviously there's lots of other things in the background that I want to get doing, but I don't like talking about things too much, because there's my usual things. I'd love to go back, and people talk about my Perfect Dark videos. When are you going to go back to that? I get the odd comment on my incubation videos, I'm doing a playthrough of it. I would love to go back to that. My Let's Relive series, there's lots of games that I want to relive, and I've been collecting, and there's so many videos I want to make, but the Battlefield thing's just been going along in the background for so long that I just feel like I have to do it first, and I'll see how that goes. Maybe it's Battlefield's just not popular and no one really likes it, so I'll go back to other things, but for now I just want to try and have a good go at it, really. So that's pretty much where I'm at now. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do about my work commitments. I have bills to pay and stuff like that, as boring as it all sounds. Unfortunately, at the minute, work is just, it's really important for me that I stick at my job and pay bills pretty much, and hopefully my circumstances change at some point, and I get back into the swing of things and make you guys some more videos. I hope this wasn't too long, and it was a little bit unscripted, but I hope it's given you an idea of what I've been up to and why it's taken me so long to work on videos. But yeah, and if you've any questions, then ask. Didn't want to go into too much detail about why I've been off, but if you've any questions, please ask, and hopefully I'll see you guys in some videos very soon. So thanks for checking this out, and talk to you guys later.